Welcome to my video. This is Eckogen. I'll be going over the mechanics of the Graft Titan, the first boss in Scarlet Conservatory, commonly known as ET from the Korean server. Here's the attack rotation. He does the Frontal Swipe, the Frontal Slam, causes knockdown, double spin, back to front slam, causes knockout, Frontal Dash, causes knockdown, 10-meter AoE knockup. Mechanics happen at 90, 60, and 30%. I go to the middle of the room. The message the Splice Demons are about to appear, followed by a Roar attack, Stealth the Roar. Green, blue, and red ads will appear at 2, 6, and 10 o'clock. Their initial spawning positions will be RNG, but remain static for each phase afterwards. They will range attack a random person, assign one person to deal with each ad. The ads need to be CC'd whenever their CC bar opens up, and it happens 2 times. In 90%, they have 1 CC bar. Mechanics are based on the ad the boss absorbs, which is dictated by the party. We want to force the green mechanics, so blue and red abs are killed ASAP. Green is left alive. The Graft Titan is absorbing the Splice Demons. Green is absorbed since it's alive. Hanbu block this attack as it will pull people towards the boss. The Graft Titan uses Erupt. You want to stealth the Erupt attack. When Erupt happens, he places the debuff of the ad he absorbs on everyone, thus starting the colored mechanic. Since it's the green mechanic, everyone gets 1 stack of poison. At the same time, when the Erupt happens, a soul separation portal is created under the ad that was absorbed. So the green ad was right here. When the Erupt happens, a soul separation portal will appear under the green ad that was just absorbed. And the person doing the green ad roll will then step onto that portal to enter soul separation. A space crystal will be created, so that spawns where the absorbed ad was, and it will automatically follow the person that is furthest from that absorbed ad location. So the space crystal is right here. It spawned where the green ad was absorbed, and it'll follow the person that's furthest from the location here. So that is the ball driving roll. So they need to make sure they're furthest from this spot in order to get the ball driving roll. So back to the person doing soul separation. So when they step on that portal, the portal closes, they enter soul separation. It will reopen about 10 to 20 seconds afterwards, but for 90% phase, you only need 1 person in soul separation. So they are moving towards the middle of the room. In the middle of the room here, there's going to be this giant ball that they see. And this circle around the ball is a buff zone. So it's very important that the people in soul separation step on this buff zone before leaving, as it will self-cleanse them, and it triggers a new buff when leaving soul separation. The circle we're standing on right here, it has an ad that's inside soul separation, which will be killed by the person in soul separation. That ad will drop a portal which allows the person inside soul separation to leave. So the green ad person will communicate to us when they're about to exit. We all stack on this circle right here, except for the tank. When they leave soul separation by stepping on that portal, that buff that they got from the center of this room here turns into a 10-second cleansing buff, which will then cleanse all of us by contact. The ball driver will time it so that they get cleansed as well. That way it avoids having, to chase people down. So right here, this is the ball driver. You can tell because they have the ball icon over their head, and then that's the space crystal right there that's following them. And then the green ad person will then go cleanse the debuff off of the tank. So the act of cleansing leaves behind quartz on the spot that it happens. So here are the quartz right here. Those white little ball thingies are the quartz. The driver needs to make their ball touch the quartz. So this consumes the quartz and enlarges the ball with a black effect, meaning it's ready. The ball must never touch the ball driver as it deals very high AoE damage, and it will cause the ball to follow someone else. The boss will go to the middle of the room. He does a 3-hit AoE slam, plus rocks will fall on us, so you want to Hamon block that. The message, the Graft Titan is about to unleash Desolation, appears. So this is when the ball driver directs the ball into the boss. This stops the boss from doing an Enrage attack, which wipes the raid. Always wait for this message before directing the ball into the boss. If it was done before the message, then the only way to stop this attack is to CC the giant ball that's inside soul separation in the center of the room, and that's kind of a pain. So the method shown here is much easier. All you have to do is wait for the message. Once the message pops up, put the ball in, you're good. So the ball stops the attack and it will deal mechanical damage. So that's 90% phased and the core of how mechanics work. The red and blue ads will only be the different factors. The boss will resume his attack rotation until he's pushed into the next phase. His attacks are the same, but are now enhanced due to the ad absorption, meaning he does extra attacks on the base rotation you already saw. So here's the enhanced attack rotation. So he's going to do the Frontal Swipe, plus 2 Frontal Slashes, and then the Frontal Slam, plus 2 Frontal Swipes, causes knockback, double spin, plus another spin. He'll do the back slam, plus 2 back left and right slams, front uppercut, and then a frontal swipe. He will dash, plus 2 more dashes, and then he would have finished with the 10-meter AoE and then a second AoE, but because he was pushed to phase, he goes to the middle of the room. So Splice Demons will now spawn. Remember, he's about to roar, so stealth the roar. Only the blue and red ads will spawn since the green one was absorbed earlier. Remember that their position remains static after the initial spawn. Ads in 60% phase will have 2 CC bars, and as always must be CC'd when their bar opens up. Since we want to trigger the blue mechanics, we kill the red ad. So here's the AoE attack here. So that's the normal 10-meter radius, and then here comes the enhanced attack. So it'll be 10 to 20 meter AoE. So for the blue ad, we stack on the first circle from its location just before the boss absorbs the ad. You want to Hamon block the absorption attack. The tank does not stack with us. So here's the blue ad right here. And then here's the first circle from the blue ad that we're going to stack on. So the Graft Titan uses Erupt, Stealth the Erupt. Soul separation portals will appear under the blue and green ad. The people assigned for green and blue stand on the portal to instantly get into soul separation. A space crystal will be created, and remember it follows the furthest person from the ad that was just absorbed. So the blue ad was just absorbed here, so that's the spot the furthest person needs to be from in order to get the ball driving roll. So we get the green ad debuff again from earlier, and in addition for the blue ad it gives everyone a timer. The timer is RNG. You either get 2, 5, or 8 seconds. When that timer expires, it drops a blue flower under the person's location. Any flowers that are stacked and not immediately cleansed will explode, causing massive damage. So we use FM Sheath to help us iframe while we stand in the flowers, because standing in the flowers deals damage, and you want to stay in full sheath duration. So people from the blue and green ad, both of them touch the zone in the middle here, because they need to get that buff, so you always have to do that for soul separation. The blue ad person inside soul separation then comes back and stands with us. They stack with us. And then they cleanse the blue flowers. And they cleanse it just by simply touching them. And because we stacked the flowers, it minimizes the amount of effort, but introduces high risk because of the AoE explosions if it's not timed right and neatly done. So optionally, you could line up the blue flowers around this area here, and then they could just step on the blue flowers to cleanse them, but we decided to stack it because then it's all done in one go. So there's the sheath that happened right there. Stay in full duration. Remember to wait for all the flowers to drop before moving. So that takes care of the flowers, but we still need to cleanse the green poison. So we stack on the big circle that's just in line with the blue ad, and the green soul sap will tell us when they're about to exit the soul separation portal. So when they come out, this will cleanse us as well. So cleansing the flowers and poison will leave behind quartz. The ball driver needs to time it so they get cleansed as well. And then either the blue or green soul sap person can then cleanse the poison off the tank. The ball driver directs the ball to consume the quartz. You need to try to get as many quartz as possible. So they need to get the ones from the blue stack of flowers and then the green poison. If some are missed, it's okay as long as the ball is enlarged and has the blackened effect. That means the ball is ready. So the boss will go to the middle. Remember, he's going to do the 3-hit attack with the falling rocks, so Hamu block that. Wait for the desolation message. There's the message. The ball can now safely go in. That will stop the enraged attack, and that's 60% phase. Remember, if you put the ball in too early, you have to CC the giant ball that's inside soul separation to stop the attack. Otherwise, if you wait for the message, you're fine. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, so that is 60% phase. So we did green at 90%, blue at 60%, and now the final phase will be at 30%, which will be the red ad. So when the boss does his frontal dashes, it can be positioned somewhere else. So keep that in mind. So like I said, 30% phase, he goes to the middle of the room. He's going to spawn the ads, but only red. Stealth the roar. The ad will have 3 CC bars in this phase, so you want to assign 2 to 3 people to help with CCs. Failing to CC during any ad phase causes a debuff upon the entire raid, which will make us dance towards the boss, and that will probably get you killed. So we stack by the first circle where the blue ad used to be, just before the absorption. And because flowers are stacked and instantly cleared by the person doing blue in soul separation, there are no explosions. So here comes the absorption attack. Remember, you want to Hamu block this. He uses Erupt, Stealth the Erupt. Space Crystal is created, so the red ad is absorbed. The ball driver needs to be furthest from the red ad location. So the red ad is right over here. So they want to be furthest from that spot in order to get the ball driving roll. So here's the ball driver right here. So they're making sure they're the furthest. So the people doing red, blue, and green soul separation, they need to stand on their portals to instantly get inside. And since the phase is Erupt for 30%, that's what we're doing for the red ad, you have to turn your back to the boss. Otherwise, if you're facing the boss, it's going to force you into a dancing animation, which damages you quite a bit. And if you're close to the boss, it'll get you killed. So just think of Xanos in Naru Sanctum before he got nerfed, where you have to face away from the boss. So we FM sheath for the blue flowers. Remember that the timer is RNG, 2, 5, or 8 seconds. Wait for the full duration. The blue roll will focus on cleansing the flowers. During this time, there are a bunch of mobs inside Soul Separation, and they're trying to reach the orb or the ball that's in the center of the room. So remember that there's a ball in the center of the room here, and there's going to be ads that are spawning all around this pattern here. So if you remember the Gloomdrost Incursion dungeon, that's basically what happens. So the mobs need to be killed as soon as possible, but try to kill them inside like this pattern, but not too close to the giant ball if possible. Because when the ads are killed, they will drop a quartz. So you don't want quartz in the dead center here, because the boss is going to move to the center soon, and quartz will heal the boss for 2% of his health. So the person doing red is mostly responsible for clearing the ads, but green can also help them. So I recommend having at least 2 people help clear ads during the red phase, and range will work best for that. So remember that the soul separation portals, while they do close as soon as someone enters, they do reopen 10 to 20 seconds afterwards. So another person could go in and help the person doing red to clear the mobs. So blue is clearing up any flowers. Green will then communicate to us when they're coming out. So we stack on the exit portal right here. That way it's all done in one go. So this is in line with the red ad. It really doesn't matter which circle you use. So you could either use this circle here, that circle there, or that circle to cleanse for the green poison. But it doesn't matter, provided you worked out where to go beforehand. That way it minimizes confusion and it makes it quick and easy. So the person in red, soul separation, they're only leaving soul sep once the ads are done with. So they must stay there until all ads are dead. The ball driver will pick up the quartz from the flower and poison cleansing and any other quartz in the middle if they can. It's best to keep the boss on the sides. That way he's not in the center. That way the ball driver can clean any quartz that's in the middle. But if the boss is already in the middle here, don't worry about it. As long as the space crystal or the ball, whatever you want to call it, already has consumed enough quartz from the stack of blue flowers and the cleansing of the green poison, as long as it's enlarged and has the blackened effect. So remember the boss is going to do the 3-hit AoE plus the falling rocks, and then he's going to unleash Desolation. So wait for the Desolation message. Ball driver can then now safely go in and make the ball touch the boss. So now you can see this message here where it says the Graft Titan has become enraged. So this is the enrage phase. So this immediately happens after the ball makes contact with the boss. So you want to self iframe his roar. He does the 3-hit AoE plus falling rocks again. So we self iframe for those as well. Moon block the absorption. That way you prevent people from being pulled towards the boss. And then before Erupt happens, make sure you turn your back to the boss because he's doing all 3 colors for the Erupt. So 90% was green, 60% was blue, 30% was red, so you have to turn your back. And now in the Enrage phase, he's doing all the ads. So he has red in there as well. So you need to turn your back whenever you see the message Erupt. And then we decided to pick this side of the map to drop all our blue flowers, and we're not going to stack the flowers in the Enrage phase. So since we're not stacking, Everyone needs to have their own personal space, that we're not stacking any of the blue flowers, because that will cause an AoE explosion, and that does a hell of a lot of damage. So there's the Erupt. You want to stealth that, and remember that when he does that, you're getting all 3 buffs, so the green poison, blue flowers, and the red. So since your back is turned to the boss, you won't be affected by the red. And then the blue flowers, remember it's RNG, so it's either 2, 5, or 8 second timer. Wait for it to drop and then get out of the flower. People are instantly going into soul separation when this Erupt message happens. So blue is cleansing the flowers, red and green are clearing the mobs. There is no ball driving mechanic in this phase. And then those who are not in soul separation are DPSing the boss like crazy as quickly as possible, because you want to kill this thing. Once mobs are done and said with, green will let us know that they're coming out of soul separation. We'll then stack and cleanse, and then back on the boss. So there's the stack and cleanse for the poison there. And then depending on where you're dropping flowers and where you're cleansing the green poison, for us, we have the boss tanked at 12 o'clock up here. That way he avoids most of the quartz. So Erupt is about to happen real soon. So go back to the area where you dropped the blue flowers. Remember not to stack. Here comes the Erupt. You want to stealth that. Make sure your back, once again, is turned. The people who are doing soul separation are doing that again. So blue is cleansing flowers ASAP. Red is taking care of mobs, and you can have a second person help clear mobs if needed. And then we're not cleansing our poison. We don't bother to do that because the boss is nearly dead, and cleansing the poison, that's some DPS downtime. So you may need to cleanse depending on your raid DPS, as 2 stacks of poison hurts a lot. We just have 1 stack, so it's fine. The second Erupt happens about 45 seconds after the first one, and he's going to keep doing this until he's dead. So that's why in this Enrage phase, you want to DPS him down as quickly as possible. So it's very important that he does not get any quartz. That's why we take him away from all that, because quartz will heal him for 2% of his health. And red adds have to be taken care of, because if they reach the giant ball in the middle of the room, it heals the boss, I believe, and it will deal damage to us, and it makes us dance and move towards the boss. So the red add phase is it's not complex, but there's a lot of potential for mistakes to happen. So that's why the red adds, or the mobs during red add phase, must be cleared as soon as possible, and none of them must reach the giant ball that's in the middle of the room in soul separation. So basically the colored mechanics can be done in any order, but it's easier to do green first, blue second, and then red. So 90% phase will deal with 1 add mechanic, 60% deals with 2 add mechanics, 30% deals with all 3, and the Enrage phase spams all 3 until the boss dies. So I will put everything I talked about in the video description in detail, as I always do for all my guides. Each green, blue, and red add mechanic will also be explained in case you need to revisit that. But yeah, that's the mechanics for the first boss in Scarlet Conservatory. As always, my social links will be in the video description. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace out.